And then on the 14th we have Jay Brooks, and on the 15th we have Sean Mortons. But before we get to Alan Compass, before we get to Nakoma Tala, we have a Ray special event on the Monday prior, on the 6th. And that is the first ever Kaliko's Chronicles. No, Kaliko?
Yeah, it was actually pretty fun, I will say. And then if they actually put the match, there's a guy who got dumped on his head, and he finished the match. I highly recommend that match. And it was Rilla Wolf versus Tim. I'm telling you, that match was crazy. Probably best match. And of course, Paul London there with his Wayne Newton gimmick. It was actually a pretty fun show. All in a church parking lot while drinking beer and people smoking weed around me. So yeah, it was kind of like a whole oxymoronic feel.
Of course, this was at Compton Mania 4-year anniversary event. And how was it? Was Compton Mania beer, correct? It's there was their own brewed beer, no?
Well, initially they were supposed to do it. Long story short, they were supposed to do it in at a brewery, but for some odd reason they couldn't get a permit to get the cage built in the brewery, so they ended up having to go to the church parking lot.
They
So
were
they
cage
had a
match.
right. So uh, the brewery gave them Comptomania beer and cider. Didn't get the cider, but the beer was pretty good. Even though it said lager and it tasted like an IPA, but that's a whole different story.
All right, and you could check out a little snippet. You could check out Kaliko's Chronicles on this upcoming Monday before Alan Compass, before Nakoma Tower. So yeah, join us Monday. All right. Um, I believe we're done putting ourselves over. So it was a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the news. And TNA Impact, Impact TNA, whatever you want to call them. Scott Moore did an interview and said that TNA plans to disrupt and change the wrestling scene. I Okay, so you're changing your name back to TNA. Great. It works. People know what TNA is for one reason or another. Um, but I kind of feel like you had your chance to change the scene. Stay in your lane. Stay the little buddy promotion and make your money. Um, that's kind of how I feel about it. But how do you feel about it, Kalika?
I mean, eventually they got to grow the scale, right? They see it's kind of hard to say stay in your lane when you're sitting there watching everyone else get TV shows. I mean, NWA got a channel for crying out loud. They got to try something, right?
I mean, they're on TV. They're on Access Channel.
Bro, access don't count.
It's on TV.
Just because it's on TV don't mean it count.
I mean, I don't feel like it's unfair to say stay in your lane when and not try and grow because I mean Ring of Honor before they got bought by AEW, they were they were in their own lane. They didn't nobody expected them to do anything significant. Honestly, they were the B, not even they were the C wrestling company. Honestly, and they were. I think they were content with that as long as they were making their money.
I mean, yeah, but considering that they had a bigger network like Spike TV, I mean, why not try to make more money?
I mean, yeah, but do you really expect TNA to get back on Paramount?
I mean, better than nothing, right?
I mean, can they get there again? I don't think that they want them back.
I mean, worth a shot, right? Gotta call back. You gotta start somewhere. Baby, come back. Baby, come back to me.
Well, let's go on the opposite end of that spectrum. If they do get back on Paramount, do you see TNA on the Paramount Plus? Because that could be really beneficial for them and their company if they're on, an app rather than, you know, cable TV.
Right. I mean, at this point, they're all doing streaming, so it's just a matter of, it's just a matter of getting in where they can fit in.
I mean, AEW doesn't have streaming.
I thought they were trying to get the HBO Max.
From what I've gathered, from what I've heard, they HBO wants to do a trial run with them, and they feel that they're worth more than a trial run. Which I mean, their
Mm,
numbers are not evident of that.
well, got to figure something out, man. And I get it, because that's like, in essence, I think the companies are jaded with return on investment. So, because eventually, that's why I don't get when people like, oh, they're on TV, and I'm like, well, they gotta actually produce something. They just can't like half-ass it, right?
I
They actually
mean,
gotta make the company money.
well, I think that's what Warner Brothers is trying to get out of them because they want to do monthly paid previews with AEW, and it does seem like we're leading that way, but it also doesn't seem like those monthly paid previews are featured on Warner Brother television or media, which honestly doesn't make sense.
I mean, yeah, it don't make sense, but I mean, they gotta try somewhere, right?
I mean, I guess, but who's paying $50 a month to see essentially a card you could see any Wednesday? It seems counterproductive, and it seems like only a certain amount of people are going to actually do that, and not, the minority, not the majority. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I mean, people gotta. I mean, the company's just trying to grasp at straws and see what sticks at this point. And I mean, you're just sitting there. I mean, they sit there watching everybody else pass them by, so you gotta start somewhere, right?
Well, I think that takes us into a little bit a next part of our um, piece of news. Tickets for All In go on sale December 1st. A show that has a date of September, August. Tickets are going on sale for that show in Wembley Stadium December 1st. Yeah. It seems like that's maybe not the wisest thing to do.
I mean, they're trying to get the interest. Why would I mean? Kind of like how WrestleMania tickets are on sale in August, which is hella early.
Did they
And you,
did the tickets for WrestleMania go on sale in August this year?
yeah, they were on sale hella early,
Hmm.
hella early.
But I mean, with that, it's WrestleMania. That's like you're going to be at the biggest show in the world of pro wrestling. If they sell themselves, there is a 50-50 chance that All In is not going to have the quality of card that they had last year, or this year, I should say. Do you, what would your guesstimation be of how many tickets they sell on December 1st?
I mean, they're gonna sell a good amount. I don't think they're gonna sell it out, but a good amount. It's just trying to. It's basically like how Mania sells itself, and they're hoping that All In is kind of in the same realm, especially in London. Because they did kind of spring it on everybody super last minute. Like, hey, we're going to London, come join us.
Right.
So now you got people who might actually plan for it.
Do you think that All In this event is going to be considered a WrestleMania quality or WrestleMania esque like event?
Honestly, I don't know what is AEW's WrestleMania.
Well, usually it's All Out.
Well, it damn sure has to be All In now, right? They're going overseas.
I mean, how many years did it take WrestleMania to cross the border into Canada? 8.
Mm, eight? Yeah, eight.
No, 6. 6 years.
It took six. Oh yeah, that's right. Warrior Hogan,
Yeah.
Ultimate Showdown.
And then it took another 8 years before they returned. And they've never been back.
hmm I mean, we'll see how it goes for the next. I mean, this is something new. This is what year three. I want to say year 3 or 4 of AEW. So, I mean, to be overseas is pretty impressive. But they're just trying to give people that heads up. Mainly, they're dedicated, loyal people
Right.
who may not be as fortunate as like a WWE. Because that's kind of like what WWE does. Remember, they're selling like I remember they sold SummerSlam tickets in like February. Like they literally try to make it where you like plan like the big fours. They try to make it like you planning that bitch in advance.
Right.
So it's kind of like the same formula. Get that deposit for people who want to go, and that way they already committed.
But I feel like WWE can do that. They're allowed to do that because you kind of know who your players are going to be. You know you're going to see Roman. You know you're going to see Cody. You know you're going to see uh Jay. With AEW, it's kind and all of those matches are going to be high profile matches. With AEW, it feels like it's a Russian roulette of what you what they give you and what you get, and you have to be happy about it
Hmm.
because Tony thinks it's the greatest thing ever.
But it's just more like, but the card is what sells. I mean, the event is what sells itself, right? Like that's the point. And AEW is trying to build that because they built it with All Out and they built it with certain events, right?
Yeah.
And they're trying to go with that. Hey, can we can we do it, right? So I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. I give them the effort, right?
Well, we shall see December 1st. Um,
We will see.
do you feel like it's worth anything that for the advertisement for that show, whenever in September it is, MJF, their current champion, was nowhere on the promotional walk.
Hmm. I mean, it depends if he signs, right?
Right. The Great
You have to
Turning
admit,
War of 2024, as he calls it.
yes, 2024 is going to be a big old year for them. So,
Does
so we'll see. We'll see if they can.
does that kind
We'll
of make
see if they can keep their people, and therefore they can add it. But I don't think. Here's the question: will MJF be as popular? You see what I'm saying?
right?
Will the buzz still stay? And one, will he still be champion? Will two, will the buzz still stay? There's a lot of things with it, right?
Right. And I mean, does that but does it kind of make you feel like even though he is their champion and he's not on the promotion no pages for the event, that it kind of makes AEW think that he may be not be sticking around?
I think he's going to stick around. It's just a matter of how much they're going to pay him,
Do you think MJF
right?
would stick around if the money was better at AEW? Because I mean, WWE could outbid them. Just to say na 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 na.
I mean, didn't they try that the first time?
What do you mean?
I thought they tried to get MJF the first time, and MJF was like, "Nah."
Mm, no, he wanted more money. Uh, because of he felt he was a bigger star when he had the CM Punk rivalry.
Yes, funny how that works.
Yeah.
That didn't work. But I mean,
Well,
you gotta get yeah, CM Punk and that didn't last long, but
some people that they would hope is going to be at that event. Sammy Guevara, Brian Danielson, John Moxley and Adam Cole. Um, all injured with no real time frames of when they're coming back. Um, obviously, yeah, it plays a major factor in their storylines and a lot of things getting changed and switched around and having to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Um,
hmm
but I'm always going to go with a lot of these things could be avoided if they had safer matches. Um, with the exception of Cole, because he jumped and he exploded his ankle for no reason.
Yeah, that would suck. I mean, it's just Wild Wild West though. They don't really allow. I just think they don't let people. They don't really. What's the word I'm looking for here? Advise their people. But then again, even if they advise them, would they actually even take the advice? And that's the thing. Most people don't.
But
They're just kind of like, whatever. I'm gonna do my thing.
and I mean,
Do my thing because I care about getting myself over.
I mean, Brian and Max are already over. It's just they, for whatever reason, they feel like this style of wrestling is something they want to do. And I mean, it hasn't proven right for Brian because he gets injured maybe every 3 to 4 months.
I think it's just that's a body wear down, and
Right.
the more and more he gets hurt, the more and more WWE looks right.
Which is
And
pretty evident right now.
because remember, everybody was like, "Oh, well, they can't," uh, they gotta let him fight and da 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 da, and then all of a sudden, now you see him breaking down, and everybody's looking like, "Well, oh shit, I guess, I guess they're right." On some things because sometimes you gotta save people from themselves.
Right.
And plus there's stockholders. They ain't trying to put that. They are not trying to be the company to be like, you know what? I am not about that life. We are not trying to because that makes them look bad on their bottom line,
Right.
right?
And I mean, I'm I'm hoping when Marks comes back that maybe the concussion helped his his mentality towards pro wrestling, and that maybe he won't bleed buckets of blood every single time he has a match, and maybe give his own self some time to heal and reflect rather than having death matches every single day.
Right. I mean, but it's just that they gotta kind of be a little bit safer and less risk averting and more storytelling. And I put this with the Miz because I always everybody's like, oh, the Miz wrestles safe, but that motherfucker ain't never really hurt.
Right. I think one injury in what the 10 years, 15 years.
20, damn near 15, 16. No, it's almost 20 years.
Yeah, you're right about that. Almost 20 years. 2005, right?
Yeah, he's like 2 years out. Was 1 year out at the end of this year, might as well.
At least. I mean, that's fucking impressive. 20 years and only one injury the whole time.
And people get on him because he doesn't wrestle like an indie dude.
Right.
Meanwhile, he like, bitch, I'm. But the thing is, the best ability is availability.
100%.
Say what you want, that motherfucker is available.
I will say I do feel bad for Sammy Guevara because he is young in his career, and a concussion is not exactly a matter to be taken lightly. But
True, and it's just more like how one the severity, two could it happen again, and could it be worse?
right,
And those are the things that you kind of got to look for when it comes to concussions, because it can it's one of those things where it can just boom and you're done. You
Well,
know, so you gotta protect that.
I would hope that they learn from these injuries and maybe play it a little safer when they come back.
Darby Allen, as Darby Allen, the dealer.
Yeah, no, Darby is not has done nothing.
I'm just saying.
Darby has
Just
done
saying.
nothing.
So
Um,
I'm that, and that's my point. Like it's hard to tell people, oh yeah, learn from this, and you're like, nah. They like hell no.
well, all of these people are injured. You know, not a lot of people are moving tickets for AEW. So they have to bring in our Lord and Savior, Ric Flair. He has signed a multiple-year deal with AEW. He's here to
Your
stay,
fault. Your
and
fault.
yes, unfortunately, my fault.
You
And
called this bullshit. You spoke it into existence, sir, and I
I,
don't.
I unfortunately did. Um, he will be on-air talent, and the Woo Energy Drink will be the official energy drink of AEW Wrestling.
I hate you.
Other than me,
Gonna ha-
hating me,
you gonna have this guy die in the ring because of you.
hey, I didn't tell him to do it. He did it on his own. He did it on his
That
own.
boy. That man is literally trying to die in the ring.
What are your thoughts on the energy drink?
I haven't tried it yet. I don't think it made it to the West Coast. I got to see if it's in the store, or I'll just order it from Amazon, like a normal human being.
Alright, well, you
So,
should.
I mean, he's pretty much in the pantheon with like, well, I don't know if you've heard of these. Have you ever heard of rap snacks?
I feel like I have.
Your silence says it all. So rap snacks is kind of like this thing where they have like snacks that are named after rappers, like Migos and Master P and da 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 da. But he's in that pantheon now. He's trying to get that bread though before he dies. I give him that.
I
I don't
mean,
know about getting in the ring, but shit, man.
I mean, there's absolutely no slack on him for wanting to sell his energy drink, coming on a TV so to sell that energy drink, but to be involved in the show as a character, I it doesn't it could go to somebody else.
I mean, nah, he could be in the show. He just can't be wrestling in the fucking show. That's the problem. It ain't the problem, ain't him. I can give a damn if he's on TV talking shit for a guy.
So you
I
would
give a
be
shit where he's out here trying to die in the ring.
so you would be interested in seeing a heel Ric Flair have a have a promo battle with a MJF. That's something that interests you.
I mean, at least it's him talking. He can still talk. Talking ain't, you know what I'm saying? Dutch Mantel could still talk. You didn't see him like, oh yeah, let me get in this ring real quick. You
I
know what
mean,
I'm
there's a
saying? That's
difference.
the difference.
No, the difference is, yeah, anybody has the ability to talk, but actually having something to say is a whole different thing.
That is true. Just because you're using your words doesn't mean that you're communicating. So I get your point there. I do get that part.
it, he doesn't need to be. But, and be honest. Would you rather see Ric Flair or Sky Blue at this point?
I think every man wants to see sky blue.
Now, let's say Sky Blue just lost the match. She's feeling down. Ric Flair comes up to her and says, "Hey, before your match, try Blue Energy Drink and maybe you'll win." We see her drink the energy drink after the next match. She wins. That would be something I would care about seeing Ric Flair rather than him having a promo battle with their biggest star.
I mean, I can't say nothing because I saw a chicken rustle the colonel. So yeah, come on, man. Like semantics at this point.
I mean, wasn't the Colonel Shawn Michaels?
The colonel was Dolph Ziggler.
That's right. And the chicken was the Miz.
Availability.
Oh,
See Daniel Bryan trying to be a legend in the ring. Miz trying to be a legend at the bank. Two different things.
who's winning in
Two
life?
different things. Who's winning?
Who's winning in life?
Miz. Miz totally outkicked his coverage.
Talk,
He totally outkicked the coverage.
talking about MJ, not MJ, AEW must have got a full tank of gas with all of the fossils they dug up this last week. Um,
Jesus Christ.
Chris Jericho announced that the fourth man, not Hulk Hogan, but Paul White, the Big Show, will be returning to the ring. The team with Chris,
Knucklehead?
huh? Yeah,
Knucklehead.
yeah. He will be teaming with Chris Jericho, Kota Ibushi, and I believe Kenny Omega as well. If the Big Show returns in the woods, does anybody see it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, no one cares though. I mean, when you think about that, something don't match. Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, and the Big Show. Kota Ibushi and the Big Show. Yeah, that makes no sense.
It it seems so random, but if the thing of it is they don't have anybody available because, like I said, there's a lot of people injured right now, then I understand why they called in the favor for Big Show. But
No, they got a gang of motherfuckers they can use.
we'll throw some names.
Where's Miro?
Having issues with his sexy, flexible wife.
Miro, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, uh, Mark Henry.
Matt Hardy
Who
was
else?
having a rivalry with what is his name? Jim Cornette.
Juice. Uh, I'm trying to think of who else. Oh, let me go through this roster. Now you about to make me pull up their roster. And sir, I can tell you they got a gang of motherfuckers on this motherfucking roster.
I mean,
Oh my God, hell yeah. Adam Page, Angelo Parker, Alex Reynolds, Anthony Ogo, AR Fox, Ari Davari, Bandito, Big Bill, Bishop Khan, Brandon Cutler, Brian Cage, Brody King, but Cat, well, no, not Cash, Christopher Daniels, Chuck Taylor, Claudio, Colt Cabana, Danhausen, Daniel Garcia, Dante Martin, Jalistico, Dustin Rhodes, hell, Eddie Kingston, Ethan Page, Evil Uno, Hook, Isaiah Cassidy. Remember Private Party, anyone?
nope.
Jay Lethal. They put Jay Lethal with Jeff Jarrett for crying out freaking loud. Jake Hager, Jeff Jarrett, Johnny TV, Josh Woods, Keith Lee, missing in action, Kip Sabian, Commander, Takashita. Remember that guy? He had them fire ass matches, and we just couldn't find his ass from here on out. Lance Archer, Lee Johnson, Lee Mortuary,
Moriarty.
Mark Briscoe for Moriarty. I mean Mortuary, Moriarty, same thing. Matt Hardy, Matt Sydal, Matt David, Mike Bennett, Santana, Miro, Nick Wayne, Ortiz, Pac, Parker Boudreaux, which is, I guess, the Brock Lesnar looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
El Penta, Hobbs, Vance, nah, but QT, hello, QT, Ricky Starks, Ray Phoenix, Roderick Strong, Roosh, Samoa Joe, Scorpio Sky, Serpentico, Sean Dean, Sean Spears, not Stokely Hathaway, but Stu Grayson. Well, Swerve's too hot. He don't even need to be nowhere near that. The Blade, the Butcher, Toa Leona, Tony Nese, anybody? Trent Beretta, Wardlow, or Wheeler Yuta. Just
Wow.
basically, I basically did what you did, naming all those damn PWI. But God damn it, the point is they had a gang of motherfuckers. Could have made sense. Okay.
So basically, literally anybody but Paul White.
Cause you know Paul White gonna do that. Cause I'm calling it. He's gonna turn.
Oh my God! Join the Don Callis family. Paul White, really?
When have you ever seen him in a match where he hasn't turned?
I mean, that was WW. That was WWE. So isn't that
All
just
right, sir.
AEW rehashing WWE shit?
It's gonna happen. Cause
Well,
there's no incentive. What is Big Show? What's the point? What is Big Show? You know what I mean?
I know. Well, I mean, they could
There's no
definitely.
incentive. There's no incentive for him to join Jericho.
I mean, there's not really an incentive for him to join Don Callis either.
That's true, but shock value.
I guess so.
Half the people Jericho got either hurt or ain't around. So what's the hell? That dude formed more factions in AEW than the goddamn our government agency.
It's every 6 months recycle, recycle, repeat.
Yeah,
I hear really good things about this mortuary guy. Maybe he'll do something.
maybe he'll be the Black Undertaker. Let's see.
I think that's the under reefer.
Under Reefer, that would be cool.
No, that's an
Oh,
actual wrestler on the Independents.
oh gosh, does he smoke weed?
What? His name is the under reefer. What the fuck do you think he does?
I mean, I'm just saying, is he like blowing it in front of dead bodies? You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking questions. He wasn't on PWI's 800. Neither was Naito. So you know.
Yeah. The under reefer versus Tetsuya Naito coming soon.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be something.
for, for number 501 on PWI.
Yeah, no, boy, like 501 Naito, 502 the Under Reefer,
There you go.
pretty much. There we go. Battle to make it.
Well, speaking of the under reefer, I saw that he was busy, or will be busy, as Matt Riddle's first match out of WWE has been announced. Um, and it could have been against no better opponent. He's wrestling RVD.
You talk about now that match got a chance to get lit, get high, everything you got in this.
I don't see how people would be able to see the match. There's going to be so much smoke in the air.
That is true. However, I it's gonna be like third hand contact around that bitch.
I feel like the match will definitely happen, but we won't ever know what actually happens because nobody will remember it for the obvious reasons.
That is true.
People get to the venue, they sit down and, oh, I can't wait to see Matt Riddle versus RVD. Next thing they know, they're already in bed. It's the next day. What the fuck happened?
Well, they're already at Jack in the Box getting their munchies. Fun fact: every video that RVD has in AEW actually lasts 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
No, that's awesome. That's
Every video he has on YouTube is literally that involves RVD is exactly 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
no, that's creative thinking on their part. It's those little things that actually work.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I've got to give props for that
Yeah,
ingenuity.
you know,
Ingenuity at its finest.
I've said this in the past when it comes to AEW. For every one thing they do right, they do 10 things wrong.
That is true.
And I just said that as a joke, but then continuously watching the show, and I was like, oh, that went wrong, that went wrong, that went wrong. And then I was like, son of a bitch, am I to something here? Anyway,
Hey,
somebody that's
anywho,
somebody that's also onto something that AEW wants to take advantage of is Jim Cornette. They was in Louisville, Kentucky, obviously the home of one James E. Cornette. Jeff Jarrett invited him to the show, and I'm going to paraphrase here. I don't have the full tweet in front of me, but Jim Cornette responded on Twitter saying, "Thank you for the invite, Jeff. But unfortunately, I could not find somebody else in the state of Kentucky to share the 2-for-1 ticket price of the event. So
Oh,
you're going to have to find another ratings ploy out of somebody else.
oh, cold. That's cold.
And I mean, it was a good, it was a sick burn to say the least.
I feel like if he goes, him and Matt Hardy are gonna have some furniture movement. So that's why.
But I mean, as the question is, would you pay to see that?
Hell yeah! Two senior citizens getting it on. Like, let's go.
What do you think
Why?
AEW is in this chapter of the company, considering that they're willing to take literally the most boisterous um critic and invite him to the show to come and see for
No, that was Jeff Jarrett doing that because they got history from the back in the USWA days. That had nothing to do. I can tell you right now, AEW is probably like, that's Jeff Jarrett inviting you. That ain't us.
I
But well, I was saying this, it could be AEW, but it damn sure ain't Matt Hardy.
oh, we could both agree it's not Matt Hardy,
There
but
you go.
I don't think Jeff would have said what he said if Tony didn't feel like it was a sneaky ploy way to get Jim in the building.
But in case you haven't noticed, there's a lot of shit that they do that people just don't notice.
Like,
So it doesn't shock me one bit.
well, that brings us to Kenny Omega wrestled MJF, I believe, on last Saturday's Collision. Uh, honestly, arguably one of the biggest matches that they could produce at this time was given away on their CISO to only a little over 4,000 viewers, 472,000, which is down from last week's 5,018, five, a little over 5,000 viewers. You have such a big match like that, and it draws less than the week before, and I don't even know if it was on that show.
Well, keep in mind, Collision was the CM Punk show.
Right.
He's gone. He's gone. They're like, why? What for? Marina Shafir's with AEW? See, the shit I know. Anyway, but I mean, it's just I. Punk left, and people ain't because that was the Punk crowd. That was the line in the sand. Rampage was like the border. Collision was like trying to be WWE without the WWE because
Right.
they try to do like storytelling and stuff like that. And Dynamite's like flippy shit.
Right.
So yeah, of course they're not gonna,
You think that Collision lost its audience?
the different audience exactly. I mean, granted, their base is there because I think they record that on Saturday, right? Or they either
Yeah.
record that Saturday or Friday.
No, they record that on Saturday. It's live, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, shit, they got to get more people on there, and I'm surprised because that's MJF, the champ. the most popular guy on the bitch, quote unquote. Madison Rain is AEW? Man, they got a decent ass women's roster. Shit. If they use
Yes,
it right,
the women's
Kiara
roster
Hogan.
has decent asses. Um,
Really?
it was a cheap joke, but I took it.
They got Diamante? I mean, Athena got ass. Baker kind of got a Bumblebee's team.
Um,
Keep going.
People kind of said that it was, one of the reasons that they suffered in the ratings was because they had sports competition from other sports. But I feel like if you have a big match and you have pro wrestling that people actually want to see, then people aren't going to watch that whatever sports is on. They're going to watch your product. And I mean, case in point, Roman Reigns' 1000th day celebration. They were on against basketball. Not only did they keep their um, their audience, when Roman came on the TV, it spiked. When they were up
What?
against other sports, when you have something that the people want to see, you keep them.
But they don't have something that's uber long term.
I
Like, name a story that happened long term other than Hangman Page.
well, I mean, they announced it on Wednesday for Saturday. So I mean, and there's not.
But
It has MGF and Kenny ever even touched had any interaction before that time, before that match.
I mean, true. But I'm just saying, like, they just have a. They're having. It's almost like they're just having the matches to have them as because they trying to bring the element of sport where it's contention up and down, moving up and down rankings, right?
Well,
But I think they need to do better at selling that importance because they just go, well, this match is a title eliminator and da 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 da,
well,
and it's just and you're sitting there thinking, well, yeah, Kenny Omega versus MJF would be cool, but what did Kenny do to warrant the title shot? Question mark.
right. And
And that's where we get lost.
and you said long term storytelling. They've been in business for 4 years. I mean, it's not like they can't do long term storytelling because they've had 4 years to develop stories. So almost as long as AEW's been a company, Roman Reigns has been champion, and people he became the megastar that they wanted because of the long term storytelling that he's been able to do. While AEW has jumbled and scrambled to tell one, maybe two cohesive, coherent stories in that time frame, not including any of Cody's stories in AEW, because that guy jumped ship too. You know what I mean?
I mean, I know what you mean, but it still doesn't. It still belittles the fact that remember, wins and losses matter.
Has that
Like,
gone? Has that come into play since they've started the company?
fuck no. I mean, yes, I mean, in a sense, yes. I'll say yes in the sense of when they have things where people are contenders and they get a title shot. Yes. Random ass shit, no.
Do you think that the ratings went down because Sky Blue was not on the show?
Yeah, Sky Blue was on the show.
Is Sky
Yep,
Blue
that's why.
the
Or Leela
only
Gray. Or Chris
saving
Statlander. Chris Statlander's cute.
but is Sky Blue the only saving grace for ratings when it comes to AEW at this point?
I mean, her and Tony Storm.
I mean, okay, yeah.
Maybe Willow.
Mm, maybe.
Maybe. So I would say this. It would be in order Sky Blue 1, Tony Storm 2, Atlander 3.
How is Anna Jay not on that list?
Britt Baker 3. Because they not putting Anna J out there.
Oh, true.
Or Jungle Boy ain't putting Anna. Said, no, the fuck you is gonna jump on my woman.
While Kyle Flatulence is just like, yeah, so that ass, baby.
Make me money. I mean, Ricochet, remember, Ricochet was like, with Samantha Irvin shit, my bank account wish he had an OnlyFans. I was like, bro, no. No, 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 no. Wrong answer, sir.
Alright. I think that'll conclude the news for now. Quick word from our sponsors. And we
Player
are
One Energy and Road Coffee.
Player One Coffee.
And Rogue Energy. Jesus, my bad.
The
Bleep
views and
that out.
expressions of Khalifa Yak do not reflect those of us at Wrestling with Entertainment. We apologize to our
I'm
sponsors.
I'm sorry. I had too many watermelon wingmen today.
Now, okay, quick word from our sponsors.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.